Don't ask why at this point. I just can't help myself. I'm gonna take this guy apart and see if I might swap that out if I can for an XT60 connector, and it looks like it's just 4 screws that hold. This is my cooler. 12 volt. Pretty sure it runs on a TEC plate. It's just heat sink on the back, cold sink inside the cooler, and yeah, the rest is history. Or a Peltier plate, some others may know them. The man who discovered the process and created the first TEC plate. So I guess the inventor of the TEC plate, also the man who discovered the whole process on how that does stuff. Anyways, I need a better screwdriver for this. I should just go to the shop and grab the right one, but here we are messing with this one. I got a fan. It was a little warm in here, so you know I was literally messing around with random crap. Threw together had a little like novelty junk find. It's a small little solar panel with like a PC fan. So I disconnected the connector and wired it up to something else. So it's just 2 wires coming off the panel now and usable connectors on the actual fan. Long story short, I plugged it into the auxiliary 12 volt socket of that little hub I was working on. Just because we're messing around today. We're tinkering. And in the name of the game of tinkering, we're taking all these screws out. And after that, I'm going to see what that board looks like there, what the inside looks like. I should honestly take out my cans of pop that I have in here. Come on, one last screw. There you go. Alright, 4 screws. Alright, this is just gonna... Okay. Yeah, there's the case at the back casing. It says, ooh, she's warm, I was running. Yeah, this loaded with cans of pop right now. So, I'm not, I'm not the guy who's going to tell you what each of these parts are, because I don't even know, other than we got capacitors here and some heat sinks. These types of transformers or something. Don't worry, I'm not going to touch anything. It's got to be like types of transformers, because I know this runs off of AC or DC, so they've actually gave you some options here. I'm just having a look deep. I'm surprised actually that's the size of the fan based on the surface area there. I kind of would have thought you'd have, yeah, a slightly bigger one in there, which, food for thought. Alright, let's have a look at underneath the business side here. So I'm not going to touch anything, because I imagine that with capacitors and everything else, it can still very much be holding a charge. Oh, those plastic pegs are pretty loose. I definitely need a slightly... That's for finer work than what I'm doing right now. Alright. Next up, this guy. So that didn't just pop off as easy. Quite the advanced little circuit board. Okay, so all I really care about is this here. This guy and this guy. Because, I mean, that's obviously our AC side. This is our DC side. I really like this. The board, this gives you both options. Okay, that's soldered on there. That's not a quick connect. I thought I was looking at the quick connect. How is that affixed in there? Oh, there's actually little screws. Cool. I just saw the back of a screw so right underneath where it says this stuff here, underneath this plate, I guess, there's a little plate. I'm gonna grab a little knife. Alright, hold that thought. Alright, I've returned with a hobby blade, because I might actually even want to save that cover plate or be able to put it back on, because, you know, it does have important information, which ports are what and all that. So if I can just get this removed gently, or we just cut half of it off and stick it back on. It's on the back side after all. No one gonna be ever seeing this but me. Well, and you. Welcome. Yeah, okay. That's bordering dangerous territory. Alright, so let's just see. I see that. Yeah, okay. I see the screw head right there. So what do I do? Just cut a nice little slit right down here. I could have just took the whole thing off. Too bad. And that's how you cut a finger. Yeah, there's better ways of doing this. I don't even think I cut all the way through on that, but I just want to be able to. Alright, let's move my finger out of the way. Need enough pressure and force. You know, sorry guys, I don't edit. I'm not, you know, processing power and all the rest. Okay, so it's just honestly a couple screws holding that, and let's stick. You know, I don't want to get the glue dirty or sticky. You know, even leaving it upside around here is still going to be a problem because it's going to get dirty. So I wonder if there's a way for me to conveniently put an XT60 connector here instead of having this big guy. Because then, I don't know. I can just get rid of that cord I have altogether and use something I already have. Because that's really just going to come right out just like that. Too easy. Now I need a housing like that for an XT60 connector. This was a male and female set. I've since used the other side. But here's the trick. I don't just want to loose. Oh, I could do some kind of like fancy epoxy work. Have that. Solder the connections in. And epoxy that perfectly in. If only I had something to make a mold out of. Oh my goodness. I got an idea. I've got some silly putty, which I think you can use as a mold. I'm gonna grab some epoxy, do a bit of a cast of this thing with that shape, but with, and then after I guess I make it, I can, how am I gonna do it? I'm gonna make the cast be able to incorporate this, or the cast will incorporate this. Alright. I have no idea what I'm doing, guys, but this is the teardown. That's the board. That's all the business stuff. Oh, is that for a second fan? Where's the fan going to? That's, well. That looks like another fan. Oh, this is probably for a board where there'd be a fan on the inside. Alright, future updates. Changing the connector here, probably getting a different cord. Going to do an XT60 connector on that. And maybe upgrade the size of the fan here. It looks like the case, here's the case again. Looks like the inside of it has all the room in the world for like a 120 mil fan instead of this little, like, what's that, the 80 mil or something like that. I can't remember. mill or who knows? Who knows? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've been in the computer world. So that's that tear down of, well, not a full tear down, but there's the cold sink on the inside. The whole metal comes to about this spot. Says it uses on the door here 12 volt, 40 watts hot, 48 cold. That's wrong. It uses at least 54 or something like that, sometimes 45 after it's got going for a long time. The other side is for AC. It says it only uses 42 or 50. I've seen it pull like 70 for AC, I believe. Anyways, crack a cold one. Nice root beer. Yeah, throw it back in there. Thanks, guys. See you next time.